What's up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be joined by the one and only mobile gamer, and we're going to be talking about our experience in the new Orchis raid. But I want to really focus in on this video on some secret weapons that could help you and your alliance climb through the difficulties faster for the dreaded Tech and Mystic sections. If you do want to see a very in-depth breakdown of all the sections, though, make sure you go check out the other video that just uploaded on this channel, where it's just me, so it's not as fun, I guess. And it's going to go section by section talking about my experience, which I think is super cool. But these secret weapons that you're going to see in this video, I think you're going to want to check this one out for sure. Before anything, though, a word from our sponsors. I want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsors, Into the AM. You guys know I love Into the AM. I wear them every day on stream. I wear them when I go camping. I wear them when I go out with the wife. I wear them when I'm hanging around the house. Because they're comfortable, they're reliable, and they make you look good. They make you look so good. All right, and right now, if you use code DORKY, you're going to save 10% off your cart. And right now is the best time to make use of that because they have some of their most beloved products coming back right now, which is amazing. But of course, you know, Into the AM doesn't just have these returning products. They have so much wonderful, wonderful clothing to make sure you're looking good. Right now, I got to say, I'm in love with this Wild Retreat vintage t-shirt. This one's going to be finding its way to the stream very soon. You could better believe that because it's exactly my style. I love the graphic right here, nice and minimal, and then it's crazy fun in the back. Make sure you're turning all the heads. But let's also be real, guys. It's August. It means we're going back to school soon. Well, not me, but the kids are. And I got to make sure they're going to the classroom looking good. I actually already went and picked up 2 of these basic AM snapback hats for my boys. These hats are going to fit them as kids, and it's going to grow with them because the quality of the material used for the clothing here cannot be beat. Second to none. So guys, make sure you use code DORKY to save 10% off on all of your Into the AM shopping. Make sure you're looking good heading into the fall, and make sure your kids are looking good heading into school. All right, guys, let's get back to the video. And as always with Into the AM, stay inspired. How's it going, everybody? I'm here with my main man, Mobile Gamer. How's it going, brother?
How's it going, Mr. Dad?
It's going pretty good. I heard you have a problem pronouncing Canadian superhero names, but I'm going to forgive you.
Sassy Pants.
Yeah.
Sassy Squatch. Canadian Bigfoot. I don't know what to call him.
Well, you're saying all the nicknames my wife calls me. What's going on here? All right, anyway, let's jump into the Orchis raid. So we got to playtest the Orchis raid, right? And it was pretty interesting. So first thing I want to make clear is, like, when we playtest this, some of the people that are going to be pushing difficulties 2 and 3 right away, their teams are actually going to be, like, monumentally bigger than what we're testing with, right?
Yes, well, because the playtest server has standardized accounts at level 100, 7 yellow, 7 red, gear tier 18, blue ISO 5, all the T4s, which is not accurate for Ares, let's say, right? But then Ares is bugged on the test server. But then, like, Spider Society, you're showing right here 2.8 million. There's some people that have 3.5 million, 3.6 million. I mean, I feel like people have dumped a bunch of resources, and they should have, into Spider Society for Dark Dimension 7, maybe even Purple ISO for Dark Dimension 8 and the Odin. So there is a significant power issue with this. Like, and it was fine at 2.8 million, and it's going to even be easier at 3.5. I suspect this part of the node is going to be simulable with you know, a chunky Spider Society.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I know that on my big account on like, because I brought them to Dark Dimension 7, I'm bringing them to Dark Dimension 8 because they're a city hero team. So they already get the 20% for going to Gear 219, 20%. Well, it's 50% for diamonds, right? I have them all at 3 diamonds, and I have Purple Ice on them. Mine's actually 4 million. Like,
4 million.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just silly, but it's not really unique to the Spider Society team, right? Like, bio, there's a little bit of variance in the bio, which you see on the screen right now, which you don't, but other people do. The mutant section, you got to play that one out though, right? How did you find the mutant section?
Oh, mutant section. Well, is 7. Same thing. Like, I have a stronger Nightcrawler, I have a stronger Gambit, right? Your diamonds on Gambit, 19 on Nightcrawler, and Old Man Logan walks over that nodes, all those nodes. So, like, mutant was the easiest. Spider Society felt like it was a timeout issue. I mean, there was timeout issues, maybe, but, you know, there's no timeout problems when you see them. Like, there was enough sustain, and it was just mostly like, how fast can you get through it, you know, without, you know, fooling around or whatever. Like, I I didn't find these two particular sections to be problematic at all.
Yeah, me neither. And then it came to see. I just put on autoplay, didn't even look at it. We were talking, and it's already won. And then there was the final boss now, which I thought was hilarious because it looks identical to the Spotlight raid. Like, hey, there's a big Skrull face on it. Like, what do we do to counter speed bar, right? Why don't you tell us how you think we're gonna handle this boss node?
All right, you're talking about the main boss. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's any 5 characters, right? So, you know, North Star, who creates tons of problems, the tech part for Pegasus, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how. Anyways, North Star is very powerful, right? Because he's going to shut down the Super Scroll, right? And then you could just go in with good characters after that, you know, and put in, you know, the same way that we get through the Incursion boss or the Spotlight raid boss. You can, you know, I don't know, you could use Apocalypse and Super Scroll and Mephisto if you wanted to. You just go through it, right?
Yeah. It seems like it's actually funny. I found it easier than the Incursion one, which I thought was super interesting. But as you brought up something very interesting, right? This raid, I don't think this raid was meant to test our skill team or our bio team or our mutant team or even the boss node. This raid was meant to test our tech characters and our mystic characters.
Yeah, the tech part is a mess, and it's specifically designed to hard counter Pegasus. I mean, North Star is no fun pants. You know, he is no speed bar for enemies, right? Which is all that is what makes the Pegasus team too good. Is that Ironheart on spawn, Darkhawk's ultimate? They just do nothing, and it's very hard to get to them. I was able to on the first node get through North Star, you know, with after several attacks, and then once I got through North Star, the node was easy. But the second node, not the case. The second node was a mess, absolute train wreck of a node. Sasquatch and Weaver and North Star and whoever else is standing around makes the node miserable. You did something, but and I even tried what you did, and I couldn't. I was still stuck. Like I got stuck.
Yeah, well, I mean, the node you got stuck on was definitely the more problematic node, right? That node, the second node where, like you said, there's a Weaver drops in there, you got extreme members, and on spawn you have North Star flipping all your stuff, and then Sasquatch putting trauma on you.
And the problem with North Star too is once he gets to 10 charges, he's a mess. He's a nightmare.
Yeah,
absolute nightmare. Once he gets to 10 charges, it's a train wreck.
Yeah, he just starts peppering your team with trauma all over the place. So I think the developers went into this literally saying, how do we beat Pegasus? How do we beat Bifrost? Which we'll talk about in a little bit. And they successfully did that. But I was talking with Benny. He's like, think outside the box. He was telling me how he was using like Doc Ock and some Sinister 6. So I went in there and I tried the exact same thing. And then this is difficulty 1, I should say. I don't think a 7 Red Star Superior 6 is going to handle difficulty 3 like this. But
no. Well, I tried it and no, it didn't work. It didn't work. But anyways,
You were in a bad spot though. You walked into a Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
What I found is these guys, without Crimson Gear, without diamonds, similar to the Spider site, I think a lot of people invested heavy for Vulture for Dark Dimension 7, for Green Goblin for Dark Dimension 7. Probably not Mysterio, probably not Doc Ock, right? But then you also have Kang, who you can throw in there as great plug and play. You have Kestrel. Slayer comes in. Don't use Slayer on node 1 because you don't want offense up on spawn because North Star will flip it. I found that there was actually creative ways that we can get through this. Probably not the cleanest, but it's going to hold us off in time for the next raid team, right? The Orchis raid team.
Well, so the two things I'll say about, I think this is by far the most challenging part of the entire node. And yes, this is a reasonable solution. There may be even one better that the community finds out in the next week. We don't know. But this is going to be the part of the node where you don't finish this part, or your entire group, your lane mates only go down the middle, right? And you all work together to get through it. I mean, this is going to be the part of that. And the good news is that they create a problem, sell a solution. And I believe this team is right around the corner. Like you were pointing out, they all but strongly hinted that the next blog post was going to be about this Orchis team. And, so I believe that's the next team after, we get through Thanos Endgame and the Annihilators.
Yeah, 100%. And it only makes sense that they would come before the Night Stalkers because, like, it's a vampire. Night Stalkers. That screams vampires. We know Karen Page got bitten. She can be a vampire. She can be with Man-Thing, and she's going to be with Moon Knight, who did get voted in, right? So those are very mysticky characters. I think that's just going to be the Halloween team, and it's going to be the Ray team. I think that, it's safe to put 2 and 2 together there. So if they sell the tech team first, I think the Orchid raids are all but solved. Look at what Mysterio does here. Mysterio is the unsung MVP of this, by the way. With his blinds and ability block that he covers on everybody. When he does his flips on characters like Black Cat and on the boss node, there is a bunch of spiders and stuff like that. Like, it's really funny how powerful Mysterio was in that Sinister Six rework.
But we have to be clear. I left it in a bad spot, and this didn't work. This is the hardest part. This is the hardest. This is by heart. This is significantly higher than the mutants. Significantly higher than it's a lot harder.
Yes. The good news is, like you said, the strategy is just going to be to dogpile this lane down. You don't got to get 100% to climb through the difficulties to get those first time rewards. And it's this though right here that you're talking about, the second node. I couldn't get my Sinister Six cooldowns to go from node 1 safely into node 2 and then also into node 3. So the Pegasus becomes a good answer here. Now, what I found is if you do a burn attack and you pull that North Star's ultimate first, then you don't have these slows, you don't have the defense down, you don't have the disrupts that North Star puts out on spawn, which then gets trauma put on you by the Sasquatch, right? So if you do a burn attack first and you pull the North Star ultimate, then this node is significantly easier. But then you're looking at, you need a burn team that has ISO blue 5 on it if you're trying to do difficulty 3. This is the gate. Like this node seems to be the gate for the race.
The second node on tech was the worst. First of all, this Sasquatch does not die.
No. Like,
he doesn't die.
No. So this is difficulty 1 that you see this Pegasus team on right now. You can see they're taking very little damage, but Rescue can't cleanse anything because the trauma. It just keeps getting re-upped. You see the North Star charges starting to climb up, and it's just like you say, you just don't get anywhere.
Yeah. So this is a 300,000 Sasquatch. What is it on the difficulty 3? 1.2 million or something? It's on a different level. Like this was nothing but frustration, specifically when the Weaver dropped, and then that creates even more problems because then you're gonna have all the miss, and then it just allows North Star to get to 5 charges, and then he destroys you. Because North Star can get up to 10 charges, but when he gets 10 charges, all the his special is hitting multiple targets and blinding most of your team.
Mm-hmm.
The ultimate is just doing way more damage, and then his basics are putting out trauma.
Yeah,
I mean it's wild. It's absolutely wild.
Yeah, and this node is going to be why people have to dogpile the tech lane. Like, you're not going to want to split off and even do 2 lanes, because you're going to want to use your Sinister Six team here as well as your Pegasus team here, probably with all 4 members going down the lane. And then one person would save it for here. Maybe I'm going to time out here, and this is difficulty.
No, see,
1.
on difficulty 3, I was just getting exploded.
Yes, yeah, it's different. It's different. Difficulty 3, you're just going to get exploded.
Yeah, I was just getting exploded before I took a turn, and it was not. I was like, I was actually like, on the test server they give you like unlimited amount of cores and refreshes, right?
Yeah.
I did it long enough to get bored and just say I'm not doing this anymore. Like,
yes.
I was just like, I'm not doing this more. This is horrible.
Well, I recorded myself doing the tech section and the Mystic section on difficulty 3. And it was 2.5 hours of recording. And I said,
yes,
I'm not showing this to anybody because it's useless. This is just like, you throw cores, you die. Eventually you tickle somebody down. Eventually. It's just not fun, right? But then there's these clever solutions. Like you said, the community is infinitely more in mass than we are. And for the most part, smarter than we are too. Let's be real here. We're envoys there. They're very clever community.
No, well, first of all, this is test server subject to change, right?
Yeah.
But the possibility of us, testing it the limited number of hours, the community will know more about this raid within a couple hours than we've discovered already.
Yeah, exactly. But it's cool, right? That there does seem to be some clever solutions for the areas that they wanted to sell us on, the areas that we don't have mods to increase the value of teams. So this is the boss node. I think that this node is actually one-shottable, probably up to difficulty 2 with the Sinister Six team. But at the end of the day, like I think you're still gonna need Orchis. For difficulty 3, you'll need Orchis. They'll find other reasons to make you want Orchis, whether it be a legendary input, a pocket dimension, whatever the case may be. So,
Well, this is kind of like Alpha Flight, where we couldn't get through it until they sold it to us. We're kind of doing something same thing on this right here, right?
right, and that's just the cyclical life of raids, though, right? Like that's the way it's always, or that's the way they've always intended it to be.
The only thing that they're doing some weird stuff with the events being much later than the offers. I don't know if you've noticed that ever since Hank.
Yeah.
It's and I don't know if it's I believe it's intentional. It has to be, right? But it feels like that if you're not buying those initial offers, by the time the event comes around, there's a much longer delay than we've had historically.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a conversation for another video. I'm keeping track of it now. It does seem interesting, and I'm like, so the Hank one was because they were trying to gate Captain Britain.
Right.
I'm curious if this Annihilator one is because we're also getting more of their shards peppered in from other, because they're doing something new with Annihilators. But if the next one is also delayed like this, we should definitely do a different video where we may not be smiling.
Yeah, well, this one, it has nothing to do with the video, but it's interesting that you've started tracking it because I've been talking about it a lot lately. So anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, so the tech section looks like it's going to be dogpileable at the very least. And at best, hey, Sinister 6 with some diamonds on it could be super interesting here. And then the Mystic section. Now, the unfortunate thing is I can't definitively say if the Mystic section is instantly solved or not because of this right here. You see Sasquatch, he's got the safeguard still. This Ares on the playtest, he does have the empowered passive, which I think was hot fixed in the live game where it is actually peeling safeguard off in Crucible and in raids and everywhere else, but it's not on the playtest. It's this Sasquatch and the gladiators that appear on the second and final node, right? These are the guys that make the Bifrost team struggle a little bit because you can't get empowered or what is it? Exposed? You can't get exposed.
Can't get exposed. Can't get exposed and vulnerable when he's over 50%.
Yeah, which means the Bifrost team, they don't get energy or speed spam, so they're not rewinding.
Right. Well, the first node, I actually was able to do it with full Bifrost.
Yeah.
The Sasquatch was there at the start, and he was the last one to die. I had to do multiple attacks, like it would time out, and the only way that I could get through the node, I didn't do that. He just stayed there forever, and Vol's ultimate was the only thing doing anything to him.
This is difficulty 1 again.
Yeah, but difficulty 3 did not look like this. No. Yeah, he does not die, and he has kind of an Ultimus effect where he counterattacks and then he has Drain, and so if you don't have heal block on him, you're not doing anything. It's kind of like, how Apocalypse is the same way. He counterattacks and he gets his health back when there's a spread, when it's a lot, when the ultimate Apocalypse is a lot bigger than you. So anyways, but so I didn't now the node that had the 3 Annihilators was a problem because the Bifrost team is dependent on the exposed, Vol putting out the exposed, ramping up the energy like crazy, and then that allows Sylvie to keep rewinding, and then Beta to just explode them, and Vol keep ulting. It was fine until the 3 Annihilators, and then you're gonna probably have to do something like this. I'm gonna try Mephisto instead of Beta with my existing team, and just try to see if that works.
Yeah, like I think just like the tech, I think there's gonna be an interesting thing here. And like they use these anti-exposed to counter Bifrost, they forgot Deathpool existed, right? The OG Mystic character that's giving speed more on spawn, that is also giving energy every single time an enemy dies. So Vol may not be able to race to her ult with Expose, but Deathpool helps her get there. Now, this is difficulty 1, so take this all with a grain of salt. I'm not sure if this is perfectly solved yet, but this Gladiator against an Ares that is working will be instantly dead, or he won't have taunt here anymore because he won't have the safeguard protecting him from everything, right? So I'm so curious to see, because again, this is a Vol, 7 red stars, no crimson gear, same with Ultimus, same with Deathpool, like same Mephisto, the one that I was using is gear tier 15 here. I think at the highest difficulties with Ares working properly, Mystic's just not going to be a problem, which is okay. Pretty cool.
The only thing I will say is on the higher difficulties, This Thanos here is a train wreck. And when you drop him below 50%, he does that thing and he wipes all your positive effects away. And it's actually scary.
Yes.
It's scary where I think the first time I dropped Thanos below 50%, he wiped 3/4 of my team.
So, I don't know how much I can say here. His passive doesn't do damage anymore. In the raid. In this raid, Thanos' passive doesn't do damage anymore. But
The one that I played did, absolutely.
Yes, not anymore. It just takes your buffs away now. It's kind of like the Black Knight on the Bio Boss node.
When did they change it? Because I played it. Are they going to change it?
It's been changed. If you go in there now and you push him, yes, his passive will wipe all your buffs away, but he's not going to kill you.
I got killed by him. So okay, well that's cool.
Here, let's see. See, we got him low here. Watch the damage it does. This is difficulty 1, but just watch the damage that it does. So he's gonna get pushed there. He takes the buffs away. He didn't even scratch the barrier. I know this is difficulty 1. I've done it on difficulty 3. It's not doing damage anymore because that was an issue where if you went on the left side, he was one-shotting Mephistos with his passive. So I believe that maybe based on feedback, they changed that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just remember being a bad experience. I didn't know that it was changed, but yeah, I was like, holy moly.
Yeah.
And so that he's going to be the next Doom.
Oh, he's definitely next Doom. Guys, so Thanos, he's coming out tomorrow or something? I forget when he's coming out based on when this video comes out. Friday. He's crazy. We saw what he does in the raid. So when we have him and you're using him in PvP stuff and you get diamonds on him, which they're giving diamonds away in one of his early events here, which is crazy.
Right.
He's going to be scary. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. I'm kind of
Also, but what I mean by Doom is getting him to trigger when you want to on command is not going to be simple, just like it isn't with Doom.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? Like dropping him below 50% when you want him to go below 50% because you don't get a choice, right?
Yeah.
Makes it a tad frustrating.
Oh, and Trauma Stun doesn't stop it. Nothing stops his passive. Like he won't come out of the stun with Trauma Stun when you drop below 50, but he will still take all your buffs and do damage to you. So unlike Doom where you could ability block him or you can Trauma Stun him, that's not an option with Thanos, which makes it even scarier.
Yep. Anyways, off topic, but anyways.
Yeah, anyways. So long story short, I think this is actually a really fun raid. We talked about this in your video, which is kind of another part of the conversation we're having here, guys. So make sure you go over and check that video. It'll be in the description and in a pinned comment. This raid kind of feels fun. Like it's making me more excited because I know like Spider Society is going to work. It's going to be fun. Bio, I'm going to be throwing in Skrull and having a lot of fun doing that. Gives me more of a reason to update Skrull a bit. Mutant section is mutant. I think mutant section is the easiest section because Old Man Logan is just
Old Man Logan. Yeah. So and I mean, you could go over to our video. We talk about this at length, but I feel like this right here is designed to sell us Orchis and Night Stalkers, and I suspect there'll be another version and or difficulty settings at some point in the future for whatever else they're trying to sell us. I mean, Extreme, like you mentioned, is an old team, right? And they're probably going to want to sell us something to replace that and Hive Mind and Spider Society.
Yeah. All right, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you head on over to Mobile Gamer's channel to check out his video where we talk at length about the spiders, about the Extreme, and we talk about the boss toad a lot more there as well. But for now, stay happy, healthy, have fun. I don't know why I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. Mobile, you got anything you want to say?
Don't lose your voice.
All right, guys. Bye.
That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.